once again to the Tuesday night Ratfink Racing League live from the Rock. My name is William Tiller, of course, joined up here in the booth by Jeff Dunda and Jacob, our producer, up here. Week number 4. We're going to do 130 laps, 3 sets of tires, no fast repairs. And Jeff, this is the racetrack where those fast repairs go right out the window because we know the Rock is going to put up one heck of a show.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun night. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to watch the action.
And with all the surprises last week, ladies and gentlemen, if you tuned into week number 3, everything that happened in that race with the crazy restarts, the wrecks at the end. But of course, it was the favorites that rose to the top. Once again, talking about Jordan Tross was one of those names. We also had a back-to-back winner so far in this series. Jeff, we're at a totally different racetrack here tonight than Indy in week number 3. What do you expect out of the guys here tonight, especially with only 3 sets of tires?
Oh, you know, they've got plenty of fuel, as you mentioned. 3 sets of tires is going to make this pretty interesting. Luckily, we have a grass infield, so we shouldn't see a pile up like we saw last week.
No, especially not on that restart. If you remember from that broadcast, one of our last restarts of the night took out almost, I would say, about 3/4 of the field. Now, the lady in black is one of those that could cause the same wreckage. But here tonight, we're looking for a different winner. We've had back-to-back winners already so far in this season. What I love most, though, Jeff, is that no fast repair aspect of each race. And folks, if you're unfamiliar with Iracing, no fast repair means that if you're damaged, you got to get that thing to pit road, and it takes just as long to repair those trucks, Jeff.
Yeah, you know, we got a shorter track here, so, you know, limited time for repairs. So a major incident is potentially going to put you out of the race or, you know, multiple laps down.
Yeah, as the boys are getting warmed up here, qualifying is all wrapped up. That was Chris Stapleton with that wonderful national anthem. And before we came on to air here, I was trying to estimate the windows here, Jeff. We're thinking maybe around 30 to 35 laps on each run if everything stays green.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, they've got enough fuel to run longer. So luckily, depending on when they pit for tires, fuel shouldn't play into the equation here as much.
No, not at all. I don't think so either. I think in this race, what you're going to see is a lot of that low side to high side. Drivers, as that tire wear starts to build up, they're going to go low side of the racetrack up a little bit higher. And Jeff, you know from being inside of these trucks, the higher you go at the Rock, the more squirrely you tend to get.
Yeah, and tire wear is definitely going to factor in. As you mentioned, you know, climbing up the track as you roll on, it's probably going to be beneficial for speed, but it may not be beneficial for your tires.
Well, it is beneficial to us because we are ready to rock and roll up here in the broadcast booth. You check out the wonderful temperatures here at the Rock. 70 degrees. I don't care where you are in the United States. That is warm, especially for me down here in Florida. We are freezing cold in the 40s and 50s down here, Jeff. So I know the rest of the country is freezing over, but 70 degrees here tonight at the Rock. And track temperatures around that toasty 73 degrees. Does that play any factor in tonight's race, Jeff?
You know, to be honest, it is a little bit cooler than what we'd see if this was scheduled, you know, for a midsummer race. So, you know, it's going to help a little bit with the tire wear, you know, a little bit with the loose, you know, nature of this track. So, you know, I think it's going to be okay. I don't think we're going to jump in track temperature, you know, in any major way. So I think it's going to be okay. That's just my opinion.
Well, let's rock and roll with that starting grid for week number 4 of the Ratfink Racing League. On row number 1, one of those favorites I talked about, Jordan Tross and Dakota Reeder. Row number 2, that's Ryan Philbrick, our back-to-back winner, trying to go for 3 in a row here tonight, and Thomas Wynn. Row number 3, we have Kyle White next to Todd Perrott. And row number 4, we have Justin Carey and Jesse Gordon, some newcomers here in tonight's field. Row number 5, we're looking at Tom Ringer and Jonathan McIntosh. That's our top 10, Jeff. Take it away.
Row 6, we're taking a look at David Bersecki and Brandon Hinton. Row number 7, we're looking at Nate Lesko and Tony Burleson. Sorry, Tony. We're going to pull up row 8 next. We've got Tody Deek and Tyler Waltz. Row number 9, Mark Holloway and Sean Dion. Row 10, we have Zachary Wynn and Brent Thompson. Row 11, John Crosby and Joshua Gillen. Row 12, we have Brian Sousa and Colton Jackson. Row number 13, Chad Thompson and David Lewis. Man, we got a full field tonight. This is pretty exciting. Can't wait to see row 14. Oh, that guy is not racing. He's in the booth tonight.
He is not. That truck is looking good in the garage, though, Jeff. As the lights are off of the official Iracing pace car, we're about to go rocking and rolling here at the Lady in Black, the Rock as it's known. It's going to be some door banging, some inside shooting, as well as one of our favorites here tonight. Jordan Tross is going to take that green flag. Right next to him is a name that's a little unfamiliar in these broadcasts so far, Dakota Reeder in that 85 machine. We'll see what he has in store. Another name in that mix as well as Jesse Gordon is a name that we haven't really called out a couple weeks into the season so far. But here we go, off of 4. The pace car has pulled off. It's time to go racing once again in the Ratfink Racing League as Jordan Tross in the 79 takes us into corner number 1.
Man, it's exciting to see some new names. I know these guys are they're not all new. Some of them have been at Ratfink, but it's exciting to see new guys. It's also exciting to see over 20 cars in the field. I'd love to see that in league racing.
Big field here at the Rock, guys. We already have somebody loose into 3 and 4. Looks like no, they did not save it. Yellow flag is out. First caution of the night here at the Rock.
I saw the 69 of Tom Perront dropping in the standing, so I'm sure he was involved for the replay. We've got a couple of new feeds here we can see. It looks like Todd Perront here as we're checking out the replay on the broadcast collection on YouTube. Todd Perront, that 69 machine, the line green machine. McIntosh T-boned him. So luckily for Todd, that damage will probably be repairable. We'll have to see what McIntosh has there. You know, he hit square right on the engine.
Yeah, you see the 71 machine right here. That's Thomas Wynn. I think he's going to be the first domino to fall in this first caution, as he's going to get a little sideways here, just trying to go to the inside. A little extra bump there from the 33 of Carey, but no harm, no foul just yet, as you're going to see the nose hit the apron of the 71 of Wynn. Nothing too harmful in this situation, Jeff. It just really, I think the 69 saw it behind all of this and tried to check up and just got loose.
Yeah, that was going to be my point. He was probably 2 cars behind, saw this action. You know, he got loose at the same time. Like I said, he got T-boned, so we're going to see what these guys need for repairs. And right now we have Todd Perront, the 69, Jonathan McIntosh, and Joshua Gillen all in pit lane. Tough break for a couple of these guys right out of the gate. So, you know, let's see. Hopefully, you know, they get some repairs done, get back on. Hopefully not lose a lap. Todd Perront, Joshua Gillen are both back on. Colton Jackson's gone 3 laps down. Although that may have been an error in my standing sheet, he may still be on the lead lap. We'll get an update here for you in a second.
All right, we're back after that first caution of the night here at the Rock. And Jeff, we talked about it there, a little no harm, no foul. Unfortunately for the 69 machine, was checking up to an incident happening in front of him. Just going to be an early night for that 69, unfortunately, as there was some damage. But the pace car has pulled off. Let's try this. So once again, Jeff, as Jordan Tross will take us to the green flag once again as they go roaring into one.
Yeah, no strangers up front. Jordan Tross, Ryan Philbrick, two of the guys currently leading our standings, so no surprise seeing those two up front. Dakota Rita, we mentioned him earlier. No team, so he's definitely a new name that we haven't seen here in the past 2 weeks.
You see early battles early on, and Jeff, this is the type of racetrack that you can't really wait for things to happen. We come from, I don't want to call it a snooze test because there was exciting moments in that race at Indy, but a very spaced out race, a lot of gaps, a lot of intervals. You're not going to see that here tonight. These trucks are going to be on top of one another all night long, door to door. Right now, Jordan Tross still leading the way, but a lot of battles already brewing behind him, and I believe we've only completed just a few green flag laps.
Yeah, this is a pretty quick track, right? We're talking about 24 seconds, let's just say, an average pace, for these guys. So you get a little slip up, you drop behind, so you have an issue. It's pretty easy to go lap down here after 10 or 15 laps if you're not on your A game.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see some guys already testing out that middle lane as we come off of 4 down that front stretch. Just about 7 laps in here at the Rock. Going to go 130. One of the longest races so far here in this Tuesday night series. And Jeff, we're starting to see a few drivers drift up the racetrack as we're down the backstretch. Is that just to get those tires warmed up a little bit?
92. Oh, 92 got a little sideways, but it looks like these guys all keep it on track, no caution.
Whoa. Very, very squirrely right there, Jeff. A lot going on here in that pack.
Yeah, pretty good save. He had cars all around him, so caution there.
Oh, touching the wall. The truck on the wall, bounced right off the wall. That's the 5 machine, still keeping it clean. Truck's trying to come back into line as well down the backstretch. Going to be some damage on that 5, though, Jeff. He hit that wall hard.
Yeah, personal friend of mine, Brandon Hinton, great driver. He doesn't usually find his way at the top of the track, so the fact that he got in the wall, I didn't see it. I thought he may have been trying to make a pass.
As we're still green flag racing here at the Rock, a lot of battle for position. Starting to see just an early gap building just a little bit, though. Not the biggest gap as the 5 machine. You see him right there. He's all by himself. That's Brandon Hinton. Had a good run going last week, Jeff, but I believe he was one of those trucks that was caught up in that crazy restart.
Yeah, along with about 15 others. So, kind of a rough night for a couple of guys. Opened the door for some others. And, hey, you got to stay in this. You got to stay clean if you want a shot at the end. And lap 12 is getting pretty exciting.
As we're moving and grooving here at the Rock, this is the Tuesday night Ratfink Racing League. Our first caution of the night came on just about lap number 1, if you want to call it there, Jeff, as we were off of corner number 4. But Ryan Philbrick's already won 2 in a row, trying to make it 3, putting early pressure on the 79 machine, Jordan Tross. But we check out this battle just behind them. This is for that 3rd position. They have podiums here in Ratfink Racing League. That's Dakota Reeder and Kyle White. I think Kyle, though, Jeff, I think he's going to be one of those drivers that breaks through here along the seasons. Had some pretty good runs so far. We're down the backstretch, currently in that 4th position behind one of our newcomers in that 85 as we're around 3 and 4.
Yeah, just a quick shout out. We've got quite a few watching on YouTube. Jacob, it may just be me, but I don't see the chat feed up. I don't know if it's something we can double check again. It could just be me. That's on my other computer, so it may just not be loading. But thanks to all of you watching. If the chat's up, let's cheer on your favorite track.
As we're riding on board one of the favorites out there, Jeff, the 06 Ryan Philbrick. He's won 2 in a row so far here in the Ratfink Racing League, trying to go for a 3 in a row. But great performances, I got to say, out of the 06 machine. Just great driving. Last week had to do the same thing, survived all of that craziness, picked up another victory. It did it the week before as well. Had to start from the back, drove all the way through the field. Just a great driver all around, currently in that 2nd spot, but still a long way to go as that truck is pouring around the racetrack.
Yeah, and he's keeping Jordan Tross in his sights. He just has to be careful because Reeder's right there. If he makes a slip up or if he's a little bit slow, Reeder's looking to make a pass. So these 3 up front. run a single file. Looking to make a gap on the next couple of cars.
The 85 machine of Dakota Reader, if you haven't heard that name before, a newcomer here tonight. And Jeff, for those folks out there that don't know Dakota, what kind of driver are we in store for here tonight?
Well, he qualified up in the top there. He's hanging with these two guys who are currently leading our standings. So I think glad to see a new name. You guys up front.
As we're single file 1, 2, 3 down that backstretch. Trucks go roaring by our microphones here. 3, 4 single file all the way down to about 9th or 10th on the racetrack. You see about the 6th or 7th position forming up for a battle right there. But everybody single file across that start-finish line. Just about 18 laps in. Call it 19 now on the board. As we have some trucks here at the tail end of the pack losing a little bit of speed, but single file on the backstretch. As we're down the front stretch here, single file still into 1 and 2. We're going to mention those point standings here as we're week number 4 here in the Tuesday night Racing League. And I got to say, Jeff, that we have a battle on the racetrack right here to the inside. That is a huge battle going on. That is the 20 machine. That is Nate Lesko going at Thomas Wynn. They're going to go side by side across that start-finish line into 1 and 2. This is just inside of the top 10 as Jordan Tross still leading the way. Well, let's check out those point standings, Jeff. Of course, Jordan Tross still at the top. Ryan Philbrick, back-to-back winner here in this series, currently second in those standings. But if Jordan continues this dominance here and picks up some points for leading the most laps during this race, it really puts some pressure on the guy who's won 2 in a row.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a couple of not strangers: Tom Ringer, Thomas Wynn, John Crosby. They're back in the field a little bit. 8, 9. Crosby's a little further back. So these guys got to hustle because if you keep letting Jordan and Philbrick finish top 3 in these races, it's gonna be hard to catch them by the end of the season.
Absolutely, as the pressure's still on right there. That's Nate Lesko in that 20 machine, trying to stay inside of that top 10. He's one of our biggest movers so far in this race. Jeff up 7 spots with the drop of the green flag. He is trying everything he can to get around. That is Justin Carey right in front of him, as John Crosby in the 73 machine is actually our biggest mover of the race so far. He is up 9 spots as the drop of the green flag. And I gotta say, Jeff, John's one of those names we've called out a few times here, a couple of races we've broadcasted. Just one of those guys that hasn't been able to get a chance to break through. Caught up in some cautions, a little squirrely there coming off the 2 here down the backstretch. But just a very consistent driver, I'd have to say. Always inside of that top 10, always inside of that top 5, just catching bad breaks towards the end.
Yeah, and I love that feed we just had up, the quote-unquote in-car of John in his house. John's a fun guy. He's always great to race with. He's a blast. He's hilarious. He does some fun antics sometimes. When we're practicing races, it was fun to see his camera up, and I hope we have some more of those shots with some of these guys later.
Yeah, I want to see a shot of the in-car camera right now as he's trying to get around the 13 of Cody Deek. That's one of the guys we were able to get that behind-the-scenes view of his setup. But right now, he is all up on that setup as he is feeling the pressure from John Crosby in that 73, who's to the inside of Cody Deek there on that shot. I'm curious. It looks like Cody Deek is going to get around Tom Ringer in that 13. So Cody Deek moving up the grid so far, up 6 spots as the drop of the green flag, up to 9th in this race.
Yeah, another in-home, we'll call them in-home shots. Cody Deek, 13th car. We can see his wall of jerseys behind him. It's so much fun when you can see these shots. We just had another wall tag there from the car. Yeah, him and Tom Ringer get a little feisty there. I love these in-home shots of the guys. I can't imagine what my face looks like when I'm making these corners, making these, trying to make a pass. You caught an incident. It's so much fun to watch this stuff.
As we get a shot of Cody in his setup as he goes way off of 2, scrapes that top side wall, still rocking and rolling in that 13 though. keeps that thing inside of the top 10, but I have to assume there is some damage on the right side. But we're right along board, though, with the 13 machine inside of that top 10 here at the Rock.
Yeah, we're just finishing lap 30 here. You know, Cody's another one of those names. We talk about him in every race. There's you know, times where he's up front, he's fighting with these guys, and you know, right now he's currently in 10th place. So, you know, he also is one of those guys. Needs to make some points here to kind of jump up in the standings.
Absolutely, but he's doing a great job here tonight inside of that top 10. We have some movers and shakers inside of that top 10. Thomas wins down 3 spots. Kyle White also down 3 spots inside of that top 10. But everybody pretty close to one another so far, as we're just about 30 laps in. And we talked about we're starting to creep up on a green flag pit stop window, I'd have to assume there.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, Jordan can obviously set the tone, right? If Jordan comes in, that may dictate what other guys do. It's going to be really interesting to see if somebody, you know, back in 10, you know, 15, ooh, tight move there on the inside of the 6th car. There's Gordon, another new name.
As you watch these battles on the racetrack, we're going to ride on board with one of those new names that you just mentioned. Jesse Gordon, currently in the 4th position. Really trying to move up a spot on the grid as he goes to the inside of the back-to-back winner. Ryan Philbrook in the 06 is going to ride that white line all the way through the corner off of 4. Now he will assume the position across the start-finish line into 1 and 2. These new names really making a name for themselves as we're off of 2. Jesse Gordon inside the podium down the backstretch.
Yeah, if he manages to finish in good position, we'll have to ask him if there's any glitch in the check.
A little bit of Flash Gordon action on the racetrack there, Jeff. But he does scrape the topside wall. I think we're going to see a lot of those racing stripes on these trucks here tonight. And we'll watch this exit off of 2. And right there, it's just that timing when you want to get back on the gas. It's just a lot different than coming off of 4.
Yeah, we're going to switch to the leader here. Reader's right on his bumper. Again, another new name. We just highlighted 2 of them. It's exciting to see these new guys pushing some of these point paper.
Yeah, especially Jordan Tross is one of those guys that we're just waiting to really hammer a good performance home. I mean, one of those names has been inside the top 3 most of these races. Right now, he is feeling the pressure, but one of those new names, Dakota Reader in that 85. Looks like though his little cat and mouse action is to cross the start-finish line into 1 and 2. We'll ride on the back bumper of Dakota Reader in that 85 as he's trying to the inside quarter panel of Jordan Tross down the backstretch here. Going to go nose to tail into 3 and 4. Jordan's definitely feeling that air, though. You saw it there, Jeff. Had a little squirrely feeling that front bumper of Dakota Reader.
Yeah, don't look now. I mean, I think Reader and Gordon probably saving their tires a little bit better earlier on. You know, we're now seeing the benefits of that, but they are catching the tail end of this field. So this is going to get really interesting real quick.
Ooh, as a 79 scrapes the topside wall down the backstretch there. And, you know, at one point, Jeff, as we're going to ride on board with the 85, he keeps putting his nose to the inside of the 79 at Jordan Tross. At what point does the 79 have to light up and let the 85 take that line?
You know, I mean, it's tough because it does. I mean, Reader's going to take advantage of the traffic at some point, right? So as they're entering traffic, it's going to be really. And I mean, as a points leader, you know, maybe you let the guy by, but I know Jordan's a fighter and he's not going to give up.
As we watch this battle on the racetrack, Jordan Tross still under pressure. The rest of the field starting to gap out just a little bit as Jesse Gordon currently in that 3rd position, about a half a second off, but we are starting to run into a little bit of lap traffic here already, Jeff, as we've only had 1 caution of the night so far. As right now our leaders are going to come off of 4 still single file, and it looks as though it's just the 2 of them racing each other on the racetrack, Jeff, as our 3rd place car, though, now creeping up to them. That's Jesse Gordon, another newcomer here in this series in the 10 machine. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 down the backstretch.
Yeah, right now, in the back of the lead lap is Todd Brown. He was involved in an early incident we saw the replay. Like I said, this is going to be really interesting. Lap traffic, you can make moves if you're second, third, take advantage of some lap traffic, but, you know, this is the time where things are going to get really intense.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not enough room on the racetrack here at the Rock. You have to know these leaders are coming. We're going to try to accordion 1, 2, 3. Jordan Cross to the inside, running up on some lap traffic here. I think Iracing League, that's the 69 machine. We saw what happened to him early first caution of the night. They'll try to follow each other down the front stretch as Jordan Cross will cross that start-finish line, still our race leader. They're 1, 2, 3 on the bottom side of the racetrack. 1, 2, 3, podium off of 2. Now down the backstretch here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, those lap cars all gave him plenty of room, so no incidents, no issues. Sean Dion, 3 cars, currently the first car 1 lap down, so he would be the beneficiary of a lucky dog if we had a caution. But hopefully we have to caution.
As our leader Jordan Tross still leading the way, creeping up on the 50 lap mark, 130 here tonight, the Tuesday night Racing League Series. We've had a back-to-back winner already in this series with Ryan Philbrick in that 06. But one man who wants to get a W in that column, Jordan Tross, started on the pole here tonight. He's been our race leader ever since. He's feeling the pressure by 2 newcomers. We learned about Dakota from that performance in the qualifying session. What do we don't know about Jesse, Jeff?
The interesting thing is Jesse is part of Bad Company Racing. So, you and I have been broadcasting these Tuesday night races. Doesn't mean Jesse hasn't been involved in other races with Rat Fink, but he is new so far this season in our standings. And look at this, he's looking to make a move on the outside of the 85.
Yeah, just because they're 2 rooks in this series doesn't mean they're not going to put pressure on one another, as Dakota Reeder's trying to get his shot at our race leader, Jordan Tross. And for Jordan, he just has to stay locked in. Oh my goodness, as things get very, very hairy into 3 and 4. Going to ride on board the 10 machine of Jesse Gordon as he'll go to the right side of the 85 machine of Dakota Reeder. Looks as though he'll take over that second position as they go door to door into 1 and 2. Still drag racing off of the corner. Now down the backstretch. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Almost disaster for the 10 machine of Jesse Gordon. This is crazy for the podium, Jeff.
Whew, yeah, I'm catching my breath as well. We just saw the 09 scraping a wall in front of him. He's clearly staying out of the way of these guys. What's really impressive is the lap times. We are 47, 48 laps in. These guys are still maintaining pretty good lap times. And, I don't think these guys are hitting, the front 3 aren't hitting anytime soon if they are still lapping cars in the field.
And I'm looking at lap times here up in the booth. No drop-off really yet. Nobody's really crossed into the 25s as far as our top 5 goes. Still in 24.7, 24.9. Our race leader, Jordan Cross, 25 flat. Of course, he had a little lap traffic and some pressure here on that last time by. Now 24.9. New race leader, though, Jesse Gordon, trying to get around Jordan Trask again on that back bumper.
Yeah, again, maybe lap traffic played into that. Maybe Jordan just said, hey, I'm losing a little bit. I'm going to give a little bit of space. I'm going to play it cool. We see a blinker there. That was the 9
Here he goes.
And he is he's pulling away from Jordan pretty quick.
What a smooth move. And I was starting to see the lap times out of Jordan Tross drop off just a little bit. Now 25.2 out of the 79 machine. Could that just be an indication of maybe he used up his equipment trying to get through that lap traffic and really hold down the lead?
Yeah, he could be, but Jordan's also a pretty good strategist. So, he may be backing off just a little bit, anticipating, he just tagged the wall there. We saw a little dust up. He may be anticipating running this green for longer than you would expect. So if that's the case, Jordan may just be cooling it down, backing it off a little bit, staying within earshot, and not completely burning through his stuff.
So right now, Jordan Tross, our race leader on the racetrack, and let's check in with some of those drivers inside of the top 10, but it's not up here within the top 3. John Crosby in that 73 machine, big move so far in this race. Now inside the top 10, up 12 spots to the drop of the green flag. Tyler Waltz back there as well in that 9th position in the 54. Tony Burleson, Brian Sousa, David Bursecki, all exchanging spots inside of that top 10. Also, look at Brett Thompson in the 45. They're all battling out for those spots. Those are the last trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, we got a couple of guys coming in pits. 73 just mentioned 5 car came into pits. Thomas Wynn. So these guys are saying, I had enough. Let's come in and get some fresh shoes on, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah, and I would say you're about running out of time as well, as only got 13 trucks remain on that lead lap.
I don't know if that was the Brandon Hidden monster machine or a different monster machine. Somebody got loose. Might have been coming out of pit road. Tagged the yellow car at the 20, but no caution, no major damage.
Whoa, that's major
No.
damage. Whoa, no, everything is okay on the racetrack. Disaster averted. As boy, that was wild right there. Let's check that a replay of what you were talking about there with that 5 completely sideways. Now the caution flag waves on the racetrack. Wow, I think we needed to breathe ourselves up here in the booth.
So, yeah, this was the second. This happened afterwards. So he got loose. It looked like coming out of pits. Tagged the 20. No major incident. No caution. His bumper flew off a little bit later. There we go. That was behind the 5 car.
Mm.
Looks like Brandon got loose in the corner. And before this shot, yeah, he was checking up. Before this shot, the 5's
Oh,
black bumper flew off. So there may have even been contact half a lap before this.
and for winning that 72, boy, I mean, just a magnet for destruction here tonight. I mean, tried everything here and just got plowed. Man.
So that was when he first came out. I think he got clipped, and then his bumper flew off, and he definitely got loose. And then that brought the second one. This one did not bring out the caution. The second one did.
Yeah, because I think we saw the 5 machine completely sideways on the racetrack, was able to
Yeah,
save it
that was
with the 20
this
of Nate
incident.
Lesko
Yep.
right there. Boy.
Yeah.
As you're
So I
watching
guess.
a replay
Yeah.
of the latest caution here in the Ratfink Racing League Tuesday night series. Oof.
Yeah, we've got a lot of takers on pit road. I think what happened with the 5 cars when he got loose, got tagged by the 20, caught some rear end damage. A little bit later on, his back bumper flew off, and then after that, he spun. So there must have been some aero issues there. And then once he spun, there was that second tag up behind him. A couple of guys got some more damage.
As we have trucks down pit road. Just about 10 trucks remain, 11 trucks remain on the lead lap, as it looks like we have some damaged trucks on the racetrack. Everybody's going to get ready for that restart. So will we. It will be right back here in the Ratfink Racing League Tuesday night series from the Rock. All right, we're joining the racing already in progress here. The Tuesday night Ratfink Racing League. We have a newcomer at the top side of the grid right now. That's Jesse Gordon in that 10. Jordan Tross in the 79 right behind him. Ryan Philbrick, our back-to-back winner so far here in this Tuesday night series, catches himself in that third spot. And boy, he just ran his fastest lap time of the race so far, a 23-1.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. You know, shout out to Jesse. He is a newcomer here in this. Oh, another caution out. I believe we have a third caution. Looks like David Bersecki.
Check it out right here. That's off of 2. Ooh, that's David Lewis in the 92 machine. David Bersecki getting caught up off of 2. I'm going to call that the graveyard corner so far here tonight, Jeff, because everybody's getting caught up by that. You watch him right here, and it's just, I think, on a track like here, Jeff, it's just so tight at the rock, and you see the 92's going to go high side of the racetrack, going to catch that wall, going to come down, and I think it's just incidental contact there on the low side.
Yeah, you know, maybe lucky for the 92 car, it looked like a little bit of net code when he hit the wall, so maybe his damage won't be as bad as we first thought. We'll find out here in a couple of minutes. Sometimes you get a lucky break with net code, sometimes it destroys your night.
Let's check it out here and see what kind of damage he has on that truck. And you see he's sideways there. See, he's right. Ah, man, that might be heavy damage on that 92.
Yeah, you know, but I just saw the same thing I saw in the original replay. It net coded, merged into the wall, so maybe it's going to give him a little discount on his repairs.
Yep, I see exactly what you're talking about there. I'm watching another replay here. It looks like he got close to the wall, but not close enough, and they were still counted as contact there, and it just caused everything to go haywire. But in the meantime, our third caution of the night here at the Rock. 3 cautions in. First one happened on about, I'd say, about a half a lap into this race here tonight, Jeff. The second one, big pile up there just before those green flag pit stops were starting to kind of play out. And now our third caution of the night was on about the freshest setup that we could have. We're seeing very, very fast lap times before that caution flag flew. But we're almost to about 100 laps here in this race, Jeff. It's flying by, and I would have to say it's the newcomers dominating here.
Yeah, and you know, we mentioned Jordan Tross set the fastest lap. Just before that caution, he's drifted back into 7th place, so I wasn't sure what happened there. Maybe he got a little slowed down for the caution. Maybe he saw it in front of him. Not quite sure. We'll figure that out later, but you know, Jordan's a battler. He will definitely fight his way back up to the front.
Talking about battling, let's talk about some guys that are battling here tonight. Ryan Philbrick, back-to-back winner here in this series. He's up to 2nd. We've got some other guys moving and grooving. Brett Thompson up 14 spots. This is the drop of the green flag, currently in that 6th spot. Brian Sousa currently in 9th. He's also up 14 spots since the drop of the green flag. And one of those names we mentioned before early on in this race, Jeff, is John Crosby, just playing it low-key in that 11th spot, but always a consistent top 10 truck. Yeah,
for sure. You know, we keep calling out Jesse Gordon as a newcomer to this league. Obviously, he's Bad Company Racing, so he does race with Ratfink, and we're going to go green. Take it away, Will.
It is time for Bad Company, as Bad Company will take us to the drop of the green flag. That's Jesse Gordon, Ryan Philbrick into 1, and there goes Flash Gordon in the 10. He'll take the low side into the corner right behind him. Justin and Kerry, Ryan Philbrick, they'll go nose to tail down the backstretch. Jesse Gordon all by himself as he's into 3 and 4. Here he comes off of 10, our race leader.
Boy, he got a launch on that restart. That was a pretty good restart. I could tell you from watching from here in car, that's pretty good.
And we talked about one of the Wins having in trouble here tonight, but Thomas Wynn is not one of them, as he's currently in that 4th spot. I see him just outside of the point of view of the top 3, making moves inside of that top 5. Thomas Wynn is just where he started to start this race, right in front of Cody Deek. That 13 will not go away, but he has a battle on his hands. Is right behind him Jordan Tross and that 79 machine. You mentioned it, Jeff. Drifted back on the grid just a little bit. Now trying to work back up as he goes door to door with the 13 down the backstretch into 3 and 4. This is a battle for 5th.
Yeah, we got a couple of our top 5 points leaders, right now in the top 10. So, good to see these guys fighting back. It's good to see Cody Deek in his car, watching his in-car. We all do the head lean, right? We're going around the corner, we kind of lean our head a little bit. It's kind of fun to watch these guys do this. As Tom Ringer makes a move on the inside there, he didn't look happy about that.
Yeah, and I love this point of view too, Jeff. You get to see sort of the frustration on Cody's face. He knows the truck's not where he wants it to be. You can see him getting a little squirrely on the exit of corners. It seems as though he has a battle on his hands, just as though the Patriots had a battle with the Broncos to win 10-7 to advance to the Super Bowl, just like he is a fan of. It looks like he has a battle with that 13.
Yeah, and he did one of my favorite moves at home without the camera broadcast. Get past, plenty of time. Let's go get it.
Oh, absolutely. But don't tell Jordan Tross that in that 79 machine, as currently he is trying to move up the grid. Fastest lap of the race so far belongs to the 79. The most laps led so far belong to the 79. He ran a 23 flat, Jeff, here at the Rock, moving and grooving that 79, but still our race leader on the racetrack is Jesse Gordon in that 10. Newcomer, but we see that top 10. It's a mix of guys we've called out a few times here a couple weeks in and some new names we haven't called out. And one of the names that's really jumping out to me so far early on is Brett Thompson in that 45. Up 12 spots to the drop of the green flag, consistently running 23s. That puts him right in the mix with the leaders. But just bobbing inside of that top 10, one of those trucks we could really watch out for towards the end.
Yeah, another name, currently P2, Carey, Justin Carey does have one race under his belt. But again, I'm not going to say a newcomer because he's in the league, but, hasn't raced all the races with these guys. But he's up there with Gordon, in second place and not letting Gordon get too far away.
Absolutely not, as we have about 14 trucks still on the lead lap here tonight. That's going to be bookended by the 98 machine of Kyle White, will be the last truck in that 14th position. Just in front of him, we see trucks that have a little bit of damage that are off the pace. Tyler Watts, David Bersecki, and then Brett Thompson in that 45, trying to stay in the loop. And so go door to door for the battle for position. But we're going to jump back up to that top spot as we have battles all over that podium.
Whew, I can't catch my breath because these guys are fighting and battling everywhere right now. 75 of 130.
As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all separated by less than a half a second. We do have a drop off to that 5th position of Tom Ringer in that 68. That doesn't mean the battles don't end there, as Dakota Reeder, Jordan Tross, and Cody Deek are all going at spots inside of that top 10 as well. And folks, we still have a second window of green flag pit stops. And Jeff, you saw the chaos and calamity that ensued during that first green flag pit stop. Some guys were able to get down pit road, some guys were thinking about it, and then before everything just unraveled and went chaotic.
Yeah, right now, I mean, we got the top 4. They're all within a second of the leader. These guys are battling. They're going as hard as they can. They're in the top 4. And then you got the next couple of guys, Reeder, Ringer, Tross, Deek, Crosby, Sousa. These guys saving a little bit in case we go green. They can kind of make some moves at the end of this green flag run. Here we go see Jordan passing Tom Ringer. He's definitely not holding back on that pass. A couple of guys passing Ringer. But, Tom's a really good guy at saving. So is Jordan. Jordan just, go either way. He can save. He can go all out. We see he has the fastest lap, so we know he can run quickly.
As this is lap 79 of the Tuesday night racing, Ratfink Racing League here from The Rock. I am William Tiller, joined up here with Jeff Dunda. And Jeff, early caution of the race. First lap in, second caution, okay. Third caution, we could call it the green flag run. But now we've had just a straight green flag run all the way through. Great battles on the racetrack. We've seen some trucks get a little squirrely as we're checking out the 73 machine of John Crosby. He's up to 9th. One of the biggest movers here in this race, up 12 spots to the drop of the green flag. And one of those drivers that's given us that behind-the-scenes point of view as you see him a little okey-doke action down the backstretch.
Yeah, not only that, but you can see him on his bike, right? He's talking with his teammates. He's letting them know, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. They're all sharing information. I love these in home feeds.
call it a little proximity chat, if you will, here in Iracing. You hear what the other drivers are saying. Jump on the radios just to talk a little trash. As we're down in the backstretch, he's up to 8th. A great run out of the 73. A driver who I think is going to break through here this season, Jeff. Like one of those, just throwing in those guys that have catching bad luck here early on.
Yeah, don't look now, but Gordon has a 1 second lead. On second place, Ryan Philbrick, a no shocker running in the top 3 in this division.
As we watch the 10 all by himself off of 4, and Jeff, you have more experience in these trucks than I do. Could this be a spot that the 10 doesn't want to be in all by himself? Of course, he's going to get some help from this lap traffic here, somebody to play with, if you will. Now down the backstretch, he has, if he tries to save, he's going to drop back into the 06 of Ryan Philbrick. But if he stays at the pace and stays what he's doing, then he's going to use up his equipment and be all alone. Is this sort of that catch-22 scenario?
Yeah, for sure, definitely it is. But, you know, it looks to me like right now he's in race mode, right? He is not thinking about saving. He's going all out, and he's just increasing that gap. He's almost 1.5 seconds ahead of Philbrick.
Oh, yeah, he's got that floor down. Looking at our live timing up here in the booth, 24 flat last time by Ryan Philbrick with a 24.1. So definitely a significant difference between our leader and our second place truck on the racetrack. Justin Carey is 3rd, Thomas Wynn 4th, Dakota Reeder 5th, Jordan Trask down to 6th. The 79 is just not finding it here tonight, Jeff. We also have Cody Deacon at 13, John Crosby, Tom Ringer in that 68, and Brian Sousa in that 60 is going to be our top 10. And what a comeback out of that 68 to talk about one of our top 10 trucks on the racetrack. That 68, he was caught up in some of those early cautions, somehow, some way has found himself inside the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, talking about the 68 right now, I know Tom is most likely saving a little bit in case we go green a long time. You're out front. Gordon just pushing it, but you know some of these guys, especially Ringer, Crosby, Deek, Sousa, they might be saving just a little bit, hoping for a really long green flag.
And talk about a really long green flag run. This has to be one of our longest runs of the night. I'd have to say we're creeping on about 30 laps on this run. Since that last pit stop, since the last caution we haven't had any incidents on the racetrack. Nobody's headed down pit road either. Gordon, our newcomer, is leading the way, starting to build that gap just a little bit now, up to about 2 seconds. But Jeff, I would have to say that's sort of a mirage, if you will, as we have a battle on the racetrack. That's Justin Carey and Dakota Reeder going at it, another newcomer in this series in the 85 machine. And in this scenario here, you kind of know that you have one more stop to go, but you don't want to lose too many positions as the 33 is trying to hold down, but he won't, as Dakota Reeder takes that spot away and puts himself on the podium down the backstretch.
Yeah, just looking at the pit laps, you know, the last time these guys came in, there's a little bit of a divergence. You know, a couple of guys may have topped off. Jordan Trask would have been one of them when we talked about him dropping a couple of spots. So, you know, here we got it up on screen. You know, so we can see there's a little bit of divergence here.
Absolutely. Looking at all those 4 tire sets, fuel repairs, nobody with 2 tires, all with a complete reset. Only 3 sets of tires in the garage for these drivers here tonight. I have to say that's probably the second set or the first set, depending. For Jordan Trask, I'd have to say he still has 2 sets in the garage there, Jeff.
Yeah, you know, Jordan's a pretty good strategy guy. You want to ask somebody a question and get the best answer. Jordan's one of those guys who's got a wall tag there from the 06 of Philbrick. And Gordon is not looking back. He is pedal down. He is just going.
You start to see the 06, he's losing that truck, and that's just that equipment wear, as Jeff just mentioned. You start to see it, Jordan Trask starting to fade, but it all could just be a calculation, as the 06 was inside of the top 3, brushed the wall, now is essentially stuck on the top side as we're down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Let's see if he can get that 06 to the low side of the racetrack. It seems as though he's just stuck in that middle groove, can't get that thing down anymore.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Jordan has a calculator for a brain when it comes to, we got a little glitch there. You know, when it comes to fuel management, tire management, we see someone just came out of pit road. He may be playing a totally different game than some of these other guys.
Could be playing his own game of Battle Royale and just wait for the circle to get smaller, and I believe that's what the 79 machine is doing. He'll just wait for everybody else to eliminate themselves. He'll throw in a fresh set of tires at the end and blow us all away with that performance, but still a long way to go here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, here we're live on YouTube, Tuesday night Ratfink Racing League. It's been a race of newcomers. Jordan Tross, of course, started on the pole position, playing a little bit of a strategy game here down the stretch. We're looking at just about 35 laps to go here at the Rock, as Gordon still leads the way, but I would have to assume, Jeff, that these pit stops are right around the corner, as we're starting to see some trucks creep into that 25 range, which indicates to me that these trucks are oh no, hold on, as these trucks are starting to leave the chat.
Yeah, I believe that was a 56, getting a little squirrely. Still have some guys cycling in through pits, trying to make their last pit stop again, but we're going to have different strategies. Some guys coming in early. Gordon, he looked like he's let up a little bit, but he's still in a pretty commanding lead.
Looking at our live timing here, it's going to be about a 13 truck battle as we have trucks down pit road here. That's Chad Thompson in that 70, currently 21st on the racetrack, started 25th. Just going for a nice drive here at the Rock. Starting to see some other trucks starting to head down as well. That's the 06 of Philbrick, our back-to-back winner here in their Tuesday night series. Fresh paint scheme for the 06. 33 of Carey heads down right behind him as well. There's Wynn in that 71 heading down.
Our leaders coming in as well, the 10 car.
As our green flag pit stops are starting to unfold here. And Jeff, does it matter a lap or two here on your pit stops, seeing as though it's a long pit road, or is it just when you can get in, make sure you kind of time it with the leaders?
You know, I mean, it's going to make a little bit of advantage, the guys coming over early, but we still have 30 laps, so it'll all kind of blend out, you know, by the end. I believe, you know, Reeder's currently leading. Tross has sneaked up into second with these pit stops. But these guys, you know, they came in later than the guys who just pitted, so they can run a few extra laps.
Dakota Reeder now our race leader. Jordan Tross, I'm starting to really admire that strategy, because he's just waiting for everybody else to head down. He'll stay out, of course. Jordan Trask now our race leader on the racetrack, as Dakota Reeder is heading down pit road, one of those newcomers we mentioned. Great run out of the 85 so far here tonight. Jordan Trask on that 79 machine, of course, on old tires. Still maintaining a speed to stay inside of the top 10, Jeff. Now our race leader. The only thing I'd have to say is, when does he head down? And boy, a caution flag here would be exactly what the 79 wants. Nope, not this time, as we're down the front stretch.
Yeah, and so we have Tross, Crosby, and Ringer. Those were three of the guys I was looking at for more of a strategy session. And they are all three currently in the top three. I don't know if they're waiting for a caution or if they're going to stretch into the end, and we're going to find out.
The 79's our race leader, as those green flag pit stops have unraveled here, as everybody's back out on the racetrack. Leaves us with about 8 trucks on the lead lap. The last truck on the lead lap right now is going to be the 45 of Brent Thompson. As we check out John Crosby, as I mentioned at the midpoint of this race, one of those trucks that was consistently a top 10 truck in this race. Past couple races before this broadcast, he was very consistent, just caught some bad luck here and there, just couldn't get the job done. Right now finds himself in the second position, tied for the biggest mover of the race so far. And with this strategy, Jeff, I'd really have to consider him one of the favorites down the stretch. Yeah,
we just saw him in his in-home feed, reaching over to his right. He might have been setting some parameters for his pit stop. You know, don't think he was doing any chatting there. John would be the first guy to pit out of these top three, just based on the last time they pit. So, you know, Trost, Ringer, they've got a little extra. Crosby would be the first one to come in if and when they start coming in.
This is where the anxiousness, the nerves start to settle in just a little bit. You see that lap count start to dwindle down. You know your strategy is playing out. You know everything right now, as Gordon will go to the inside of the 73. Gordon trying to get some space back. That's Jesse Gordon in that 8th position. Our former race leader, one of those trucks that headed down a little bit later in that window. You see here, he is going around Jordan Tross, currently our race leader. Now we'll get that lap back. Jesse Gordon currently registered in that 8th position on the racetrack. We'll see, though, Jordan Tross still out there on those old tires, running those things down to the rims, if you will.
Yeah, the 10 car has no option, right? He just has to blast everything he has to catch up to these guys. It's kind of like I said last week, or maybe even the week before. I'm kind of on tire/fuel strategy guys versus the guys who just came in and pitted. They're going to blast it.
Look at some battles on the racetrack. A lot of gaps amongst the positions. The only battle that we really have right now is between Tyler Watts and David Brusecki. That's going to be for the 5th position. Top 5 still looks good in those statistic column as you see those guys battling out. Top 3 pay, though, here in the Ratfink Racing League. The podium is where it's at. And currently, caution flag. Caution's out. Caution is out here at the Rock. Wow. And it sounds as though on the radio, Jeff, oh no, the 13 machine of Cody Deek's going to be involved in this. Oh no.
I just took a deep dive. I know Cody's one of our in-cam guys. Luckily for him, we didn't have that up live when that happened. Got in a win, 72 machine.
And we'll see, maybe we can come back if our producer can rewind it just a little bit to see why the 72 might have been so high on the racetrack. If something may have happened before that, or no, he's just going to be solo on the exit there, Jeff.
He's got a little loose. I mean, he's coming up behind him, but he definitely... And they were about to go 3 wide either way at that point.
Ah, man. And it just looks like one of those moments where the 13 felt the contact and he just said, okay. it looks like one of those moments where he may have let go of the steering wheel and just said, okay. Because you see the contact happen here.
Yeah, so
the ball bounce, and then he just kind of gives away on him there.
Yeah, not tremendous damage, but still they're going to have some repairs. This probably benefits the 73, more than anybody at this point. But they're all going to pit. All these guys who didn't pit on that last green flags, they're going to pit. We may even have some of the guys who came in earlier pit. Then we see Cody, a little frustration on his face. Totally get that pose, Cody, except I would probably have a finger up in the air pointing at the screen.
Yeah, the 13 machine, you could almost feel it though on the replay as well. When that contact was made, the 13, it looked like he just said, oh, here we go, and just went for the ride, felt the contact down the backstretch. That's it. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the curious thing is those guys who just came in a few laps ago, I think they were forced to come in and pit as well. So, not sure what the 73 is doing here. Maybe he's grabbing a beer. Nope, we see him on cam. He's not grabbing a beer. I don't know if he ran out of... I know he came in, so I'm not sure what's going on here with the 73. But, the fact that the guys who just came in and pit a few laps ago had to come down and re-pit again for Tross and Ringer. That's exactly what the doctor ordered.
And we'll get an update on the 73 machine of John Crosby here, as it looks like, though, he'll fall back in line. And I'm just blown away by the amount of speed the 79 machine of Jordan Tross is going to have on this restart here, Jeff. With the guys that headed down pit road, of course, they're going to have a nice set of freshies on there as well. But the 79 rode those things to the rim, went in there and got you a nice fresh pair of running shoes, as Forrest Gump would say, and he's ready to do some running. I'd say the 79 here on this restart, it's going to be like a SpaceX rocket. He's going to take off with only, looks like about 20 laps to go. Boy, it's going to be the 79 versus everybody here on this restart.
Yeah, for sure. We have Tom Ringer in a second. Those two guys were playing a strategy. It paid off. I wasn't sure if they were going to stretch it to the end anyways, but the fact that everyone else had to come down with them, we're going to go green. I'm going to let you take it away, Will.
Here we go, green flag racing as that SpaceX rocket of the 79 machine of Jordan Tross takes us into 1 and 2. Tom Ringer right there as well as everything gets tight inside of that top 5. As Tom Ringer, Brian Sousa, our biggest mover of the race. Oh, sideways off of 2. The 68, the 98 into the inside wall. No caution flag on the racetrack just yet, as we're still battling inside of that top 5. As the 10 of Gordon takes us off of 2. This is just for that 3rd position. A podium spot is where you want to be, as Brian Sosa is currently in that 4th position. Jesse Gordon in 3rd. Jordan Tross again taking off. Ooh, as the 10 gets squirrely off of 2. Now into 3 and 4. Jordan Tross still leading the way down the front stretch.
Yeah, don't look now for the guys trying to fight their way to point standings. Jordan's been dominant. Thanks to that caution, this may continue.
Ooh, caution.
Out.
Caution flag waves once again here at the Rock for the 5th time. They're starting to drop now here, Jeff, as we're counting down the laps.
Yeah, might be the 3 to 9 car.
We'll check it out here on this replay. Ooh. Jeff,
Unfortunate for Sean. Oh, the 9 just got loose, tagged a wall, and came down into him. Sean was kind of an innocent bystander in his Jags car. Love to see the guys representing their teams.
And we'll watch this SD09 on the top side of the racetrack, Macintosh. And it's crazy to think here, Jeff, as we watch this replay play out live here on YouTube, if you're watching along with us. We mentioned it, as you get high on the racetrack here at the Rock, you lose a lot of grip. It gets a lot more loose on the top side. We saw it out of the Macintosh there, just barely hit the top side of the racetrack. And we've seen it out of a lot of drivers here tonight. They get to the top side of that exit off of 2, and that wall just comes up so quickly, you really have no time to react.
Yeah, and that first angle we showed as he was getting high, a chunk of rubber flying up, right? There's some marbles, there's some loose stuff up there. Not saying he got into it, but you could see some stuff flying off his wheel before he got loose. Unfortunate break for the number 3 car.
And for the 3 of Dion, you want to stay to the inside. That's where you want to put that truck. You want to stay that line. You don't want to go high side. You don't want to try to make any moves. But then again, off of 2 just claimed so many trucks here tonight, Jeff. What is it about the exit? We don't see it off of 4 too much. We're just coming off of 2. So many drivers struggle with that. Either they're hitting that top side wall, they're getting loose, they're not timing that exit acceleration the right way. What's it about 2 here at the Rock that makes it so difficult?
Yeah, I don't have my track thing up that tells me the different degrees of but I feel like the degree there's a little bit lower, so it's a little bit different than 1 and 2. And so if you're not quite ready for it, I think it sometimes catches guys in a little bit of a surprise.
It's been a surprising race here so far tonight. The Tuesday night Ratfink Racing League photo finish last week at Indiana race that I have to say dragged out just a little bit, got a little fanned out, a lot of gaps in between the drivers, but totally the opposite race here tonight, folks. It has been different leaders. We saw Jordan Trask play a strategy game here during those green flag runs. We've seen some new names pop up here that could be contenders down the stretch here this season. We've also seen some guys with surprising runs. Brian Sousa up inside of the top 5. Brent Thompson in that 45 as well. So overall, it's been a great race as we're just about to go racing once again, Jeff.
Yeah, and this is just going to give these guys Jordan had a great restart. This is going to give these guys a shot. Tom Ringer, Gordon, Sousa, Waltz. It's going to give them a shot to maybe Oh, I don't want to say pass him on the restart because Jordan's pretty good at it, but just to stay with him.
We'll see what happens here on this restart. Our fifth caution of the night. Pace lights are off of that Ford Mustang Iracing pace machine as Jordan Tross on that 79, Tom Ringer, Jesse Gordon, Brian Sousa, Tyler Watts, Brent Thompson, John Crosby, Thomas Wynn, Ryan Philbrick, and Dakota Reeder are our top 10. But it will be the 79 of Jordan Tross taking us into 1 and 2. And that battle ensues already for that second spot as Tom Ringer, Jesse Gordon will go door to door. No, Jesse Gordon will take that spot off of the corner. Tom Ringer will file into third. You see that fourth place position of Tyler Watts. He wants a shot at the podium as well as Jordan Tross loves this restart into 3 and 4 all by himself across the start finish line, 1 lap under green.
Yeah, Tross had the jump we expected. Gordon took advantage. Starting on the inside, he passed Ringer. Before we get one locking up, we see some smoke.
Whoa, no! That's back-to-back winner Ryan Philbrick in the mix right there, having to check up, feeling a lot of pressure, feeling some noses on the corner panel right there, trying to hold off the 33 of Carey as they'll go door-to-door across that start-finish line. Not a familiar position for the 06. He finds himself in that 8th spot, well away from the top side of the grid, with the action starting to pick up here off of 2. Oh my goodness, as the machine comes off of 2, we'll get an indication of who that is in just a moment as the 33 machine of Justin Carey trying to get inside of that podium. Down the front stretch here, Jeff, the action is nonstop.
Yeah, that was Tyler Waltz, the 54 car. Got a little squirrely. Oh, here we go again. Gets into it. He is, he gets into Brent Thompson. He was the car earlier we called out. We went to find out who that was. That was definitely the 54 car. Almost got into the inside wall. Had some more in contact with Brent there.
Whoa! As again, oh no! As we have a truck in the infield grass.
He's breaking out the lawnmower.
Oh man, doing some weed whacking here at the Rock. You see the grass come off the bottom side of that 54 as he now throws himself in front of the 13 of Cody Deek. But we know the 13's having some issues here tonight, and boy, for the 54, that is not what he wanted. As boy, we are seeing some very, very fast lap times on the racetrack right now. As that's Wynn in the 71 going at it here off of 2. We also have a new fastest lap of the race so far, and all of that, Jeff, that belongs to Jesse Gordon in that 10 machine, ran a 22.8. We're seeing 22.8s. We're seeing 23 flats. We're very, very fast here. The action is heating up. It might be below 0 where you're watching, but boy, it is hot here at the Rock.
Yeah, no, we had 50s here in Denver today, my hometown, but Jesse was just flat out flaming that lap, and he is he's trying everything he can to catch up to Jordan Tross.
He has got bad company blasting inside of the 10 machine. John Bon Jovi is going to be singing that soundtrack off of 2 if he can just catch the air coming off the 79 of Jordan Tross. And it looks like he is locked and loaded and ready to rock coming off of 4. He is zooming down the front stretch. We're counting on the laps here. 5 laps to go. Jesse Gordon is making a run at Jordan Tross as we come off of 2.
And just behind these 2, yeah, go ahead, you got it.
No, I was going to say, Jeff, we're taking a look at just outside of that top 3, 2 guys you've mentioned here tonight. Tom Ringer with one of those performances that really out of the blue for the 68.
Yeah, playing a little bit of strategy. Here we got the in-car of Crosby. I mean, look at, he's just Mr. Calm. I've heard Crosby say, I just put my pedal down, I turn left, and I drive fast, and I don't know how. Look how calm he is right now. And he is right on the bumper of this guy, looking to make a move. And I don't see any stress on his face whatsoever. He's going to get that inside. Let's see if he can close it out on this corner.
A little okey-doke action, a little now you see me, now you don't, just call me the Magic Man as John Crosby goes to the inside, now down the backstretch. He's locked himself inside of that podium, and we pay out podiums here at the I Think Racing League. He's going to get paid here tonight, but he is feeling the pressure out of the 33 of Justin Carey. Goes to the outside. He closes that door. Down the backstretch, we're counting down the laps here at the Rock as Jordan Tross still leading the way, but there are podium positions to be settled as we're off of 2.
Yeah, Gordon's still keeping Tross within an arm's length. I don't know if he can keep pulling those 22.8, 22.9s. They're dropping off a little now, but if he's got 1 or 2 more laps in him like that, actually one. Oh, sorry. He may not have it, but P2 is out of that spot.
No, Jesse Gordon's still trying everything he can before the drop of the white flag. As Jordan Tross takes us into 3 and 4, it's going to be a 2-truck battle to the end. A lot of moving and grooving inside of the top 10. But the battle is for the lead as we'll cross the start-finish line. 1 lap to go here at the Rock as the 79 machine of Jordan Tross trying to do everything he can to go from pole to victory lane. Newcomer Jesse Gordon trying to get his name into the victory column as well. He's got that thing to the floor as we're into 3 and 4. Jordan Tross from the 79 still going to go to the middle of the side. As you see Jesse Gordon in the 10, he scrapes the top side wall. That's going to open the door for the 79 of Jordan Tross to win here at the Rock, here in the Rat Think Racing League.
Whew. Congrats, Jesse. You gave it everything you had there on that last quarter of a lap. Congrats on P2. Jordan P1, John Crosby finishes P3.
As Jordan Tross goes from the pole position to victory lane here tonight in the Tuesday night Rat Think Racing League. He's going to burn it down here at the front stretch. He's been waiting all season long to do it, and boy, does he deserve to show off here tonight.
We are going to bring in some podium guys here. Enjoy watching this burnout while we load them up.